When this idea first surfaced, 10, 15 years ago, the city council said, okay, we really need a new shelter, but really we're going to have to rely on the community to step up. And that's when Bob Beck gave the original donation through his estate of $441,000. And that launched that campaign. And we've been really at this for some 10, 12 years since then. But some of the key donors in this project early on were the Day families on behalf of Shirley Day. They dedicated $45,000, so the adoption room is going to be named after Shirley Day. But then shortly after that, that's where the tragedy of Mark and Bonnie Ranney. I played softball for years with them. I got to know their three daughters, coached them in soccer. They stepped up and said, we want to do something as well, and that's where they started the Ranney Run.
The Ranney Run was started in 2016 in memory of my parents and my grandmother who were killed in a car accident. And so for the past 8 of those years, we've been raising money for the new animal shelter that's been under construction. The animal shelter that we have in town right now, it's been around for a long time, and we're very happy we have it, but it also needs a lot of improvements.
For the folks who haven't been there, how would you describe Rolla's current animal shelter?
Pitiful. It's they've done the best with what they had.
It's an old cinder block building, which was meant to be temporary, and that was like 45 years ago. And everything is open. The animals are exposed to the elements.
They had to put plastic up in the wintertime to keep the animals warm.
And as John said, we want our animal shelter to be representative of the community that we live in. And it's almost an embarrassment to see the one we've got now. Yeah. And people nowadays are so much more animal oriented. Mm-hmm. And to have a shelter planned like we're going to have is going to be phenomenal.
Just a little bit of history. So we actually built this shell in 2022. We went to the council and said, look, we're just eroding our earnings, what we've been received in donations, and it's eroding because of inflation. So let's go ahead and get this building shell done, and we'll just figure out ways of getting the interior finished. And so working with Cahill's, I think the contract was $460,000 or so, got the shell, and then it sat for a year or two as we were still trying to do some fundraising, and that's where really Kent and Nick and others have stepped up and allowed us now to move into the interior and really see some of the progress being made, and stud walls, the subfloor plumbing, the block work in the back. We're happy to take you around and show you all of that, but it's been exciting this last year watching the progress.
Yeah, one of the things that's a little bit deceiving is from the road, it doesn't look like much is happening.
Yeah.
Because the shell got put up, and then like you say, it went into a stall. But all the other work is done kind of hidden in the background.
So with this new facility, we're going to have a lot more dog runs, a lot more cat cages, and we're also going to have other rooms for exotic animals and stuff if someone finds an animal that's not a dog or a cat that needs help. So it's just going to have a lot more opportunity for the animals in our community to get the help that they need, as opposed to the building that it's in right now.
The Ranney Run is our biggest fundraiser. The 3 sisters hold the Ranney Run on the same date every year, and we already have 60 runners signed up.
Mm-hmm. Probably have more than that by the time the day comes.
Yeah. Usually most of them sign up the day of.
So the Ranney Run's going to be on September 20th at Veterans Memorial Park in Rolla. And you could register ahead of time if you want. The URL is ranneyrunfunwalk.itsyourrace.com, which I know is a long URL. But if you just Google Ranney Run, it'll pop up as well. You could also register the day of, too, from 7 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. before the race kicks off. If you want to do the 5K, you could run it, you could walk it. We also have a virtual option for people that are maybe not living in Rolla or aren't going to be around at that time, so they could do it virtually as well. So we try to include as many people as possible in the 5K event. Then after the 5K, we have a puppy parade and a dog show. So that's always a fun thing to see everyone's dogs, and I feel like every year we're getting more and more dogs because I think this is our 3rd year that we've done the dog show. So it's a little new, but I feel like the more word gets out, the more dogs we get to come. So that's always a good thing. And then we also have a silent auction that runs throughout the morning that people could bid on some pretty cool items.
The Loving Paws had great success last year.
Yeah. And
I think the Ranney Run might take off this year and maybe do a record year. Just encourage everyone to get involved and kind of work with the folks over at the Ranney Run. You don't have to run, you don't have to walk. You can just make a contribution and do a virtual. I think I'm doing a virtual on my treadmill, so you can do that. So.
And while those big events are wonderful, and we've been doing a number of those over the years, there's hundreds and hundreds of people who have given us $10, $25, $100, and that's all that they could give at that point. And you add that all up, and that's how you really build a facility like this. So big donors, little donors, we really have had the benefit of all of that in getting us to this point.
It's really become a community project.
Yeah.
In all ways.